hands and feet. So in this idea that we can reach in to source ourselves to reach out. Let's take the hands in front of the body and open the palms, curl the fingers even. And then soften your knees and keep your knees nice and sort of easy to move. So soften them, but don't get locked into the lowest point. And then all I want you to do is take a little bounce. So a little bounce in the legs, and let the bounce echo up or reverberate up into the palms of the hands. Start the bounce, if you can, from the arches of your feet. Yeah, and then, and I'm seeing you guys starting to pick up the pace with this. Yeah, start to bring up the intensity of it. It might not be faster, it just might feel more intense. And notice as your fingers kind of might curl in a little bit more, but then the wrists get looser. And then let the heels start to tap. Yep, so now the arches of your feet get a little lighter and the palms of your hands get a little heavier and they connect with each other energetically. And you know, the hands and feet have the same abilities to be delicate and expressive and specific, I'll say. Okay, now drop down into your legs and still the movement, go down real low. Yeah, and we're gonna reach forward with the arms. Yep, and then draw the elbows into the sides of the body. Yeah, like we're reaching out and reaching in. Good, inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Now, keep this going. I just wanna give you the side view. As you draw the elbows in, really engage the back muscles. And as you're here in this deep stance, right, in the arm and the legs, feel, if you can, that the toes can be easy. So try lifting the toes, try spreading them wide, just like you're doing with your fingers. And if it's too much for your back, you come up a little bit. And if you want to get deeper into your legs, you bend your knees right over the middle of your toes, or the middle toes, middle of your feet. Good. Now start to swing and pick up the pace, and maybe bring that little bounce back in the legs. Yeah, so now the momentum and the engagement give you movement, right? And then if you want to add a little hop here, if you want to catch a little air, we're going right into the fire. We'll cool things down at the end, but really just kind of find a momentum and a flow for yourself here that feels regular, right? It feels like something you can keep doing even though it's taxing, even though it might be making you warm, might be getting your heart going. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now stand up, stretch your arms up high, turn your palms back. So pinky fingers in towards each other. Come up onto the balls of your feet. And then start to stretch as high as you can. So push into the ground, reach through the fingers, let the fingers wiggle, open, spread the toes. Good, reach up a little higher, shrug your shoulders. So you engage all those shoulder muscles, and then start to release the shoulders, but keep lifting up through your fingers. And then lower your heels down. We've got chair pose, sit on down. So you're continuing to reach up, softening in the shoulders, softening through the middle body, and deepening in the legs. Look at your knees, like I just saw that one of my knees was kind of turned out. Keep your knees nice and parallel, breathe in. Good, breathe out. Another breath in, and a breath out. Keep reaching higher. No loading in the joints, keep it easy. One more breath, inhale. Good. Stand up, keep your heels on the ground, take a little back bend, look up and back. And then round the spine, chin to chest, soft bend in your knees. Inhale, back bend, arms go long and straight and up behind you. Exhale, bend the knees round the spine. Little cat and cow here, inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Let's take 2 more. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. come to stand, lower your arms by your sides. Start to bring a shake. So the shake now, feet can lift, you can move around the space in the shake. And you may not be real connected to your body quite yet, so the shake might not feel that free. We'll keep checking in with it. Good, great. Pitter patter your feet, light jog. Keep going. A little faster. Just quick, a quick visit to this for 10, 9, 8, 7. A little faster. 6. Give it more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the heels. Bend your knees and squat. Bend and straighten and bend and straighten and bend. Drop deeper. Give it more. Bring yourself in. Reach in. Reach in to see what you find. And when you reach in and you see what you find inside, that guides you towards what you'd like to reach out for, right? You're always reaching in, reaching out from an authentic place, from a place of truth within you. Reach in, reach out, reach in, and then if you want to go for broke for the last couple moments of the song, you can add hops, add jumps, all the way to the end. Nice. Good, keep going. Use the ground underneath you. That's going to give you what you need here. That will source you for the hop. Good. And the exhale too, right? So you can add a pretty powerful exhale to give you a burst of energy. Let's keep going. We're almost there. Amazing. Yep. Julie, go, Julie. Let's just jump. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Take a little walk around your space. Maybe add an easy shake as you walk. Maybe you can get specific. You hear one instrument, move to that. You find one body part, you start from there. Good, okay, so let's come to the top of the mat. Take your hands together in prayer. We'll keep moving. Inhale, stretch your arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive over your legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Come to a flat back to come to stand. Reach your arms out and up. Big breath in. We're going to do this 4 more times actually. Fold forward over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale through a flat back, rise all the way up. Exhale, swan dive over your legs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach high. Last one. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward, and then don't come up. Put your hands on the ground. Step your right foot back. Low lunge. And then start to wiggle your right foot back as far back as you can. And then pick up your chest. Yeah, breathe in. And breathe out, and so make sure that you're breathing nice and deeply and slowly. So my rhythm of cueing your breath may not be appropriate for you. So breathe as you like. And bring your attention to the back pinky toe. And see if you can tuck it under, even occasionally. You might not be able to keep it tucked under, but reach as far as you can through that back leg. So you get a lot of opening from the hip point to the toes. Good, let's find down dog. Push the ground away, shrug your shoulders, lift your heels as high as you can. And now bend your knees deeply, bring your ribs to your thighs. Straighten your legs, lift your sitting bones. Bend your knees, ribs to thighs. Lift your sitting bones, lift higher. Good, bend the knees, draw in, and straighten the legs, lift high. One more, inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, straighten legs. Come on out to a plank pose and hold for 10. And as you're here, really try to find all the places where you can engage, because it's really easy to just like focus on one thing. So legs are engaged, kneecaps lifting, quads lifting, pelvic floor lifting. Draw your belly in and up. Wrap your front ribs in so you contain the energy in the solar plexus area. Push the ground away with your hands, and then pull your thumbs isometrically towards each other. So that push and pull gives you lots of lift through the circuitry of the heart center, so we can breathe more generously. Now lower your knees down, keep your toes tucked, don't move your legs or your feet. Shift your hips forward, come into, let's say, a high cobra or an almost up dog. And then pull back to child's pose with your toes tucked. So the bottoms of your feet open up nicely, and tighten your fingertips here. Really breathe wide. On your next exhale, come forward to a plank pose. And then back to down dog. And then you'll step your right foot forward between your hands. Low lunge. We'll hold this for about a minute or so. So keep refining it, so as you get comfortable in it, breathe a couple breaths, and then maybe challenge yourself to go a little deeper. But do it incrementally, so you're not just going for broke, right? Just take your time. It took time for your muscles to get tight, so you want to take time to open them up. Yeah, and a little shift forward and back. Nice, Julie, good. Breathing. So practicing with patience is a really good way of refueling yourself, right? So every time you feel yourself going, well, no, I just wish it were a little different, just reminding yourself to be patient with the process gives you energy. All right, pick up the hips just slightly, just so you can spring your left foot forward to meet your right foot. And then walk your hands slightly forward so they're not directly underneath your shoulders. They're a little bit forward of your body. And then bend your right knee and your left knee. Right, left. If you need blocks for this, you can have hands on blocks. Bending and straightening. And this is really in preparation to get into the hips. So as we go into the next movement. So bring your attention to the way that the sacrum and the pelvis can shift and dip and differentiate right and left. And then walk your hands up your legs and round yourself up to stand. So step into your left leg, stretch your right leg out to the right, bend your left knee just over the middle of the foot. And then let's just start with circles for the right leg. So we're gonna bring the knee up and around. Yeah, hands on hips works, or if your arms can extend and stay out, that's fine too. Good, just drawing a big circle in. Good, kind of grinding out the gunk in there. That's a nice image. Good, okay, and then step into your right foot, just bring it underneath you, just switch sides, nice and easy. So left knee, circle up, I can't remember if I went in, yeah, in and around, yeah. Good, big, full, generous circles, just like your breath, full, generous, nourishing. Nice, take 2 more. And then go ahead and put your left foot down. Stretch your right leg out to the right again. And then this time, bring your right foot forward, flex your right foot, and then bend the knee and tap the heel down. Bring the knee up, tap the heel down, bring the knee up, tap the heel down. 2 more, lift and lower, and lift and lower. And then switch sides. Left leg extends out in front of you, point the toes. And then flex the toes, bend the knee, and tap, and lift, and tap, and lift, and tap, and lift, and tap, and lift. Last one, tap, and lift, and lower the knee down, or foot down. Step your feet wide, start to figure 8 in the hips. So actually your figure eight might start off with straight legs, right, as you shift one leg and then the other, and then you may start to bend the knees and circle. Yeah, right, exactly, good. Now you can take these really slow and juicy, or you can start to kind of let the flow of energy come through the joints. Right, a little slower, you're going to probably grab a little more, a little faster, it'll be lighter, right, and a little more letting go when you grab. Good, and now let's just make it in big circles, so circle to the right. Keep your feet planted and circle your hips from the push of your feet here. So as you're working, right, it's the rooting and the grasping of the feet into the mat that turns your hips. Good, and so that way you can really differentiate the femur head and the pelvis. And go the other direction, circle around. Be curious about how far you can go with a circle with straight legs. And it's a little bit awkward, right? But it might give you some new information, like how to use the inner thighs muscles, how to use your feet. Okay, now bend your knees and go to the right. And get funky with it, have some fun. Yeah, good. And feet are planted, so it definitely restricts you in some way. And then let yourself go to the left and maybe make your circles a little smaller. Have the curves collide into each other, right? Maybe you don't finish a circle and you start another one. Good, now let's add the arms. So bring them into the air. They can be high or low depending on your shoulders. And then let the movement start to be all about the curves, initiating the curves from the arches of your feet. Yeah, and then let it be really chaotic. So let it get really weird and almost explosive. Yeah, and it's from your feet, and your feet are planted and grounding you so you can be wild and crazy in other places. Good, good. Now take your feet off the ground and move this into space. Curving in the hips, curving in the shoulders, throwing yourself around chaotically, right? And trusting that your body will catch you. Yep. Maybe take it even faster. Moving, changing direction, finding curves in unusual places, maybe the back ribs, a shoulder, a knee. Good. And then let's bring it into something more specific. So step into one foot and curve. Make big curves, big circles. Draw those circles with the left and right knee. Good, good. All right, so let's work with the form here. So it's really easy to collapse into one side each time you step. Exactly. So what I'd like for you to do is start to step right underneath you and work to push into the ground so much that the opposite leg almost floats off the ground effortlessly. Push. Yeah, good. You can do anything you'd like with your arms. A little flourish, a little expression. Good. All right, shake out the legs, just the legs. One leg and then the other. Good. Let's come to a wide stance. So horse stance or goddess. And then you're going to lift right heel and left heel. Lift and lift. We'll start off slow with this. Lift one heel and then the other. It doesn't matter which side you're on. Lift up the pelvic floor as you're lifting the arches of your feet. So all these diaphragms in your body, from the arches, right, to the pelvic floor, to the respiratory diaphragm. There's a diaphragm shape in the throat, right, at the top of the palate. Good. Now both heels at the same time. Lift, 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 lift. Good. Keep lifting. Lift and lower. Lift, 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 lift. Notice if your weight kind of shifts into one part of your foot or the other. Try to keep it evenly distributed along all 5 toes on each foot. 10 more. 9, 8. You thought I was going to say 5, didn't you? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Little pulses. So know your knees. You can get down as deep as you want in your legs, but knowing your knees means maybe you turn your toes in just a little more so your knees can externally rotate out. Pulse, pulse, pulse. We got about a half a minute more here. You know, and in a formal, let's call this a formal movement, right? You know exactly what you're doing. There can be groove, there can be inspiration, there can be a little bit of spontaneity. The form gives you the freedom to do that. So let it. 5 more, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, we're going to start to work internal and external rotations. So the back leg is going to turn down. It's going to bring you into a lunge. And then we'll come back through center and switch sides. And I'm going to just because I want you to be able to coordinate this so that you don't put any undue torque in your joints. Take this as slowly or as quickly as you like. You can alternate your rhythm too, by the way. And it may be that, you know, you really enjoy the internal rotation for a little extra while just because we were in that external rotation for so long. So listen to your body so that you can create balance by listening, right? And it's about creating balance. It's not about like finding balance. It's about actually actively creating it by bringing oppositional forces together and bringing the equal amount of energy to those things, right? So internal and external rotation in your legs, you know, might depend, keeping that in balance might depend on you listening a little more deeply to what your muscles need and what your joints need. Good, I ramble on, don't I? Okay, let's take about 2 more or so, whatever your rhythm is. And then let's take a little walk around the space. And as you walk, see if you can swing your heel forward. So you strike in the heel first. It's going to bring a little bit of a little bit of lock to the knee. And it might even feel a little awkward because you might not walk like this. And I'm just going to stay quiet for just a little 20 seconds or so and listen to the soles of your feet as they make contact with the ground. So this can be a moving meditation for you, just about listening to the skin, the bones, the movement, the momentum. The each deliberate step that you take. Good, now let's walk backwards. Now you'll need to lead with the balls of your feet. And you might even be more aware of the neutral leg, right? So neither internally or externally rotated, reaching straight back. So there's a pivot that needs to happen, especially, you know, if you're in a small space, you'll have to keep pivoting in the standing leg. The reaching leg reaches back with confidence. Notice where you're looking. Are you looking back or forward? Or down or up? And then start to alternate forward and back and keep changing your mind. So a couple steps forward, a couple steps back, and now quicker. So you pick up the pace and you challenge yourself to organize how you're moving, right? So all from the feet, really, right? So yeah, that was a nice move, Julie. Yeah, good, Meg. Right, so as you're switching directions, your awareness goes between the ball of the foot reaching back and the heel that reaches forward. Now keep switching directions as chaotically, as quickly as you can. Keep changing directions. Keep changing forward and back movement. And then slow it way down and just move forward. And notice the energy that you just created and what that might have given you. Okay, nice and easy, repetitive movement. We're going to go into a skater. So stepping one side to the other. And I'm going to try not to talk, so you can just listen to the music, be on the beat, and focus on how you move from your feet. And I did not mean to rhyme just now, but I did. And then I'm going to, again, stay quiet after this last thought. Notice what comes up for you. Are you noticing the dynamic in the movement? Are you noticing how the music fuels you? Do you have a story in your head? Could you release it? Challenge yourself to be completely in your body right now. Okay, I'm going to stay quiet for a minute. Here we go. Okay, about 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, bring your feet together. This is sort of an abrupt change. We're going to do the opposite. You're going to step out, step feet together, step out the other side. Step feet together, step out. And that's it. And then you can find your rhythm, find the groove. And I'll stay quiet. And keep going, even though the song is almost over. Going, see if you can keep the rhythm consistent even though you don't have the music guiding you. Stay as light on your feet as you can. Notice what feels joyful here. And let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then take a very slow walk around the space on the balls of your feet. If there's a wobble in your ankles, try pushing down to the ground more. Good. Let's come back to the front of the mat. Interlace your hands in front of your body, and then I'll just turn to the side. I'm going to round the spine, chin to chest, push through the hands. And then this is a variation on what we did earlier, and now we'll start to add to it. Straighten the legs, keep the arms straight, and lift up and back. Move your thigh bones back too. Now bring your torso back to center. Flip your palms so they become a fist. And then take a side lean and bend your knees. Side lean to the right, I'm starting. Good, straighten your legs. Side lean to your left. Bend the knees. Good, straighten the legs. And then round the spine, flip your palms, chin to chest. Straighten your legs, look up. Make a fist, tilt to the right. Straighten your legs, tilt to the left. Good, one more time like this. Round the spine, palms press forward. Straighten your legs, look up. Make your hands a fist, tilt to the right. Straighten your legs, tilt to the left. Good, bring yourself center. Squeeze your biceps into the side of your head. Bring the big toes to touch. And then we're just gonna hold here. So it's very active, so keep it evolving. Keep reaching your knuckles up. Keep pressing the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet down. Lift the arches of your feet. Zip up the inner line of your body. Let your knees turn forward. Inner thighs pull back. Pelvic floor lifts. Low belly lifts. Front ribs draw in. Take a side lean from here and don't bend the knees this time. And then breathe in. And breathe out. Stay with it. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. Breathe in. And breathe out. Push your feet into the ground to come back up to stand. Switch the interlace of your hands. Keep squeezing the biceps into the side of your head. Tilt to your left. 3 full generous breaths in here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Rise up. Very slowly start by undoing the interlace of your hands. Then separate your hands. Then bring the arms away from the head. Take a wider stance. Good. And then cross your right hand to your left ankle. It's not a really wide stance here. Left arm reaches high. Swim stroke your left hand to your right ankle. Reach your right arm high. Breathe. Right hand to left ankle. And then just go in about a minute, half a minute or so here. Breathing and moving from the twist, right? The grabbing of the muscles around your ribs. A swivel of the pelvis. You might want to gradually widen your feet more. You might want to shift your weight into your legs. You can play with how you do this. Just stay in the movement. So I'm widening my legs just because my body's telling me to do that. You might be happy where you are. Just 1 or 2 more on each side. And then last one. And let's bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Step your feet together. And then step your right foot back. Low lunge. Okay, so we're going to do some work with down dog to build strength. And then, yeah, I'll just start with you with that. So, left leg's going to go up and back, down dog split. Open up the hip, bend the knee. Left knee to left tricep. Left leg goes high. And then left foot steps down. Right foot forward, low lunge. Then right leg goes up and back, down dog split. Right knee to right tricep. Right leg back and up. And step it down. Left foot forward, and you don't have to step all the way between your hands if that's too much, or you grab blocks for your hands. Left leg up and back, open up the hip. Left knee to left tricep. Left leg up and back. Left leg down. Right foot forward. Right leg swings high. Open up the hip, bend the knee. Right knee to right tricep. Right leg high. Right leg down. Okay, that's enough of that one. And then we're just going to go into very slow knee taps to the arms. If you feel like you've got some energy to burn and you want to take some mountain climbers, you could do that here. Not here too long. So a mountain climber would be a quicker movement, and there's only 1 foot on the floor at a time. Up to you. About 10 more, whatever you're doing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down dog. Good. Step or jump your feet to your hands. And roll yourself up to stand. Let's check in with the shake now. So shift your weight from foot to foot. Push into the ground to give yourself a shake. In fact, let's do that, you guys. So step 1 foot forward, put your right foot. And all I want you to do is shift your weight into your leg and let this shake emerge from the shift, right? And from the push. Yeah. And it's starting to emerge sort of as a, more like a fighter stance, right? With one leg forward and the weight, that give and take, right? Forward and back, Okay, let's just switch legs, the leg that's in front. So one leg forward, push off the ground, find the shake from that energy, from that push. Yeah, good. Little teeny tiny shakes maybe. Hands are open or closed, so you can decide. Good. And then from here, I'm going to just have you keep switching sides every couple moments, and that may turn into a jump. Explore, play with it a little bit. So shifting of the weight from back leg to front leg might give you energy to jump switch. Again, if impact is too much for you, if that impact is too much for you, you can switch feet quickly, right? Stepping forward, stepping forward, stepping forward. Good, got about 1 more minute to work here. Shifting weight, staying out of loading your joints, right? So you're light in your joints because your muscles are holding you, and your muscles are giving you the sort of the push to move. If you feel like sparring, you certainly can. If there's, I always use this metaphor, but punching an obstacle out of your way always works for me. Perceived, real, or the fantasy obstacle. And perceived and fantasy are a little bit different because I feel like the perceived one is the one that you think is limiting you. The fantasy one is just some story you've been telling yourself forever. Good. Okay, let's take it into a little jog. I know you want to. Make fists with your hands now. Really hold your fists. And then elbows tuck in. So this is what we did earlier in that squat, right? But now energy is much more contained, lighter, and quicker. So you have to let go in order to move quickly, right? It's not efficient to keep holding on if you're trying to move quickly. Okay, move around your space. Keep changing direction. And then maybe there's a little weight shift from leg to leg. So this can be a much more creative jog. Yeah, good. Catch your weight. So let's layer that task that we just did a moment ago with the weight shift into your jog. You can start to make the floor hot underneath you, right? So imagine that you're stepping on hot coals, hot potatoes. Woo! Move even quickly, more quickly. Maybe you release the fists. Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And you go for bent elbows and straight arms. Yeah. All right, about 20 more seconds. Go, give it all you got. Keep changing your mind. Move forward and back. Change your vantage point. Change your perspective. That's what this time is all about. 2020 prepared us for 2021, right? So you prepare yourself for the next moment and the next moment. Keep breathing generously. Keep reaching into the authentic place inside of you that you're moving from. You'll never go wrong if you do. Good. Start to slow it down and take it into a walk. Now, very quick, confident, like you're walking down the street in New York walk. You know where you're going. You're looking ahead. You might not know what's next, but you have a direction. Great, and then let's come to the top of the mat. And I never do this, but let's take a water break together right now. So go ahead and grab, if you have some water, something to drink. And let's take 5 conscious sips of water here. So first sip of water, I'd like you to set an intention for today. Second sip of water, forgive something that you've been holding on to. Third sip of water, what would you like to shift today, moving forward? Fourth sip of water, how can you look at things a little different? Reframing the question, seeing things in a new way. You might not have the answer. You could just ask yourself that question. And last sip of water is, let's clear any toxicity, just through the action of consciously drinking. Nice. Okay, let's go into some balancing poses. Balancing into stretching the backs of the legs, and then we'll make our way to the ground. So you're going to stretch your right leg forward, pull your toes back, put your hands on your hips. Bend your right knee, turn it out to the side. So we've been kind of layering this all through class. Right foot onto left thigh. Interlace, take your hands together, interlace them, flip your palms, and round your spine chin to chest. Bring your arms up, straighten out your standing leg, and swing your right knee out to the side, and then behind you in a curtsy pose. And with the arms up, it's a little less free in your curtsy. Let's pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your right knee back up into your chest. Flip your palms so they can cradle your right shin. Stand up nice and tall. Bring your mind into your body. And then release your right leg back into a warrior 3. I like winging my arms out to the sides. It feels freer and more engaging for the back, but you can take the variation you love. Keep your focus. And then step your right foot all the way back. High lunge. Arms reach up. Earlier we did the high lunge as the counter pose to the external rotation. So let's engage that more. Hug the inner legs towards each other, reach the fingertips higher, sit deeper into your legs. Now if you want to lower your back knee for this, you can. I'll show you. Hands to heart, right elbow over left thigh. But you can also keep your back leg straight. Yeah, so you're twisting over that left leg. Good, take a big breath in, and a breath out. And breathe in, and breathe out. And one more time, breathe in. And then release the pose and put your hands on the ground. Standing split, right leg high. Push the ground away. Right leg lifts. Stretch high. Square off your right hip if you can. I'm cheating here, I know. And then cross your right ankle behind your left ankle for an IT band stretch. You're probably over on the left side of your mat. It's okay. And legs push into each other and round yourself up to stand. And we'll uncross the legs and take the second side. So the left leg extends forward, toes pull back, hands to your hips. Bend the knee, swing it out to the side. And then ankle to knee, hands to heart, sit down deep. And if you can, just you may have a memory of how you felt at the beginning of class when we were doing some of the standing leg work. Now stand up. Oh, sorry, interlace your hands, round your spine, chin to chest. Tuck your tail underneath you. Stand up strong, arms go high. And then you'll swing your left leg back into a curtsy pose. So your kind of upper body and lower body are moving in opposite directions. Work with that. Try to create balance here for yourself. Pulse here. Nice. And then root into that right foot. Bring your left knee into your chest, mind into your body. Stand up nice and tall. Drop that left hip if it's hiked up. Warrior 3, swing your left leg back, swing your arms by your sides. And lightly step back to a high lunge. And then imagine you could push the inner thighs into an imaginary boundary here. So the inner legs are clear, the inner line is accessible to you. And then bring hands to heart and twist. Left arm over right leg. Pull your right hip back. Stretch through the back heel. Release your hands to the ground. Pick your back foot up, standing split. Try pulling your right hip back a little more, extending through the inner lines of the legs, the arches, the hands. 2. Right, so the feet and the hands relate to each other. Cross your left ankle behind your right ankle, fold into your legs. And then push your feet into the ground and round yourself up. Unwind the legs. And then just let's go into a very slow moving meditation here. So finding curves, right? Let's start there. Find as many curves in your body as you can and keep changing them. So try not to repeat a curve. And if you need ideas, right, bring your attention to one body part and then another body part and then another body part. So maybe your nose, your right ear, your left pinky. And then reverse the curves, right? So if you tend to move in one direction, try moving in the opposite direction. And then use your feet here to bring you through space. And a little sort of a dance of curves. It can have a little groove to it, but it can also be pretty chill, right? So not really crazy, jagged energy, but really full, thick, present experience of moving in your body. Sometimes when we shake wildly or we move quickly, we lose some of this thickness, and we lose some of the real experience of being present. Now bring it all in and get really specific. So you're curving just as much, but you're really hugging the midline. So this idea of reaching in to reach out, right? Clear the midline for yourself or articulate it for yourself through your movement. You can still move a lot, and you can still make lots of curves, but you're always coming back to that center line. Nice job, good. Okay, and then open it up. Now focus on the distance between things, the distance between body parts. And then bring as much flow, as much push, right? So we've been working with this a lot over the last couple weeks. This idea that you're working from the push to propel you through space. Now do it. Now bring all these tasks together. Changing direction, moving behind yourself to the sides, finding a little shake, a little more curve. Wow. Make some sound. Pick up the energy if you want to move a little bit more, if you want to clear out a little bit more. Just another 20 seconds or so. Breathe into it. Be creative for yourself, right? So the more generous you are in your creativity for yourself, the more nourishing the practice can be. Good. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just take another nice slow walk around your space. We're going to find our way to the ground. So come to the top of your mat. Stretch your arms out and up, big breath in. Sit down into a chair pose, breathe out. Bring your hands together at your heart center, twist over to the right. Left elbow over right thigh. And then right hand to the ground, left arm high, right knee bends, left leg goes straight, twist. Thread your left arm underneath you and round yourself up to stand for an eagle, wrapped arms. And then back bend here, legs are straight, eagle arms lift up. Come back through center, chair pose, breathe in. Twist to your left, palms pressed, right arm over left leg. Good, knees are in line with each other. Yep, you got it. Breathe in, find the grabbing of the muscles on your back. Release on your exhale, left hand down, right arm high, twist. Right leg goes straight. And the skull rotates on its axis here. Thread your right arm underneath your left arm. Eagle wrap your arms, maybe grab your wrists and round yourself up to stand. Pressing the arms into each other, lift the elbows high, take a back bend here. And then come back through center and release your arms down by your sides. Draw your chin to your chest, upper body rounds. Put your hands on the ground, step your feet back, plank pose. And then lower your knees down, lower all the way to your belly. I'm going to do a little bit of work to strengthen the back here. So you'll take your hands by your sides, palms down, shoulder blades down your back and shoulder heads away from your ears. Chin to chest. Keep all the toenails on the ground. Just lift the upper body with the chest and lower. And lift and lower. So if your belly's pushing into the ground, you want to lift your belly before you lift your shoulders. So you stay real stable in the lower body, and then the muscles of the upper back can work as they want to, right? And the natural sliding of the scapula down your back here will help you find some of those muscles that you need. Keep checking in with your navel though, so you don't want your navel pushing into the mat. You want it to pull into your low back here. And lift and lower. Try not to lift from your head, lift from your heart. About 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then sweep your arms so that your hands can make a pillow for your forehead. So our elbows come forward, forehead rests on the hands. If you want to do a little bit more strengthening, this last push, you're going to push your forehead into your hands and your hands into your forehead so you get traction for your neck and you can release your jaw. Then you'll lift the upper and the lower body at the same time. So lift the legs and hold here for 5, 4, legs are strong, keep stretching them, 3, 2, and 1. And then lower down. You can take your hands away and turn your head to one side. Go ahead and windshield wiper your legs. Rolling the thighs in and out. And then turn your head to the opposite side. You can keep windshield wipering your lower legs. And then pick up your head, bring your hands forward, lower your legs, come into an upward facing dog, and we're going to hold it. So, and this is for just as much for the hip flexors, I feel, as for anything else. So the tops of the feet push into the ground, and you want to lift the two hip points forward and up. Yeah, so it's so much about stretching the front line of your body, right, from the hips down, even from the front ribs. Now push the hands into the ground some more, and you can certainly modify by having your knees down or even taking a low cobra. It's a pretty active pose, so you want to keep all of the engines going, right? Hands pushed down and slightly towards each other, heart forward and up, legs engaged. Take one more breath. And then lower your knees down, child's pose, hips come back. Take the sides of your mat and pull them away if that feels good to you. And then pick up your head, downward facing dog. Bring your right leg up and back, open up the hip and bend the knee. And then bring your right knee forward for a pigeon pose. So the shin comes forward, or you can decide how much you turn the knee out. If your knee needs to go straight forward because of any issues inside the knee, you do that. And then let's take this from a couple different vantage points. Turn towards the left and look over your left shoulder. Take a big breath in, lift your chest. And then turn forward. Breathe in to lift the sternum straight up, and maybe your eyes too. And then walk your hands over to the right and look over your right shoulder. Notice the way that where you have to turn from. Keep your spine nice and upright. And then turn forward and swing your left leg around, taking a seated spinal twist. Wrap your right arm around the leg, left hand behind you, or you could tuck the top of the arm over the leg. And then unwind. We'll come to a cross-legged boat pose. So undo your arm from your leg. Lift your left leg up. Right ankle below left ankle. Squeeze the legs into each other. Take a big breath in. Smile. And then lower to hover. You didn't think I was going to have you smile on this one, did you? And then undo the legs, happy baby, grab the outer edges of your feet. Let one knee drop and then the other. And then rock up to a boat pose with hands around the backs of the legs. You might need a little extra support right now. And then we'll find our way to downward facing dog. Now you could rock and roll a couple times here and keep the shape. That might feel kind of fun and interesting to you. You could also simply swing your legs around and find down dog that way. If you're rocking and rolling, feel free to cross the shins, reach for the front of your mat, and then chaturanga or plank to down dog. You decide. We haven't really done much of that stuff today. Left leg's going to go high when you arrive at down dog. Open up the hip and bend the knee. And then bring your left shin forward. Pick up your chest. Stay upright. So we're staying upright for these pigeons. You're going to turn to the right. Look over your right shoulder. Stay nice and lifted. Try not to load in the joints here. Turn forward. Lift the sternum straight up. Lift your eyes too. And then twisting to the left, look over your left shoulder. Maybe you keep all the uprightness as you turn. And then you'll release your left hip to the ground, sweep your right leg up and over, right foot over the left thigh, and then take your seated spinal twist here. Right hand reaches behind you. Unwind slowly, come into a cross-legged boat pose. If you have your music near you, you might want to turn it off because we're at the end of the playlist and I'm not sure what will come next. But yeah, so right ankle over left ankle. I'm going to turn mine off too actually. Hang on one second. You're in your boat pose. You can stay there as long as you like, or I'll meet you there in a second. And then hug the legs in towards each other, lower to hover. Hug, 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 hug. Ooh. And then happy baby, grab the outer edges of your feet. Maybe rock from side to side. Let's add on this side, before we go to Shavasana, let's add some gentle twisting here. So knees into the chest. You can cactus your arms, or you can have the arms straight. Knees fall over to the right side. Take a breath, anchor your left shoulder down, the knees through center, switch sides, Knees over to the left, right shoulder anchors down. And if you want to just explore moving from right to left, you can. But you can also stay on one side for a little longer than the other, depending on what you need. And then come through, bring the knees into the chest, hug them well, hold yourself well. And then release the legs, come to Shavasana. Make yourself comfortable. You can have a nice wide stance in the legs, nice arms away from the body by your sides.